we were testing with that other link, and that's what it was. When you went live, it kicked me out, and that was I was just waiting there. So that's what it was. We were testing on two different things, and that's got to be what it is. And now I should be streaming to my channel, and I should be live with you now.
Right. So that's good. So Gene, if you want to put it in the chat, can you put the link in the chat? And then that way, if somebody wants to come up after I do a little spiel, then they can join. So I think you can just copy and paste it in.
Let me see if I can do that. Let me.
I don't know if.
So you want me to put it? Okay, I can put it. Let me see if I can put it in chat. I don't know if I can.
Because I want.
Right, so it should be up now on your. It should be now, but yeah, you want to make sure if somebody comes up backstage.
Yes. So if somebody wants to join and come backstage, when we're just going to do a little bit of a spiel, and then we can all just have a chat. Okay. So he's put it. I can see he's put it in there because I can see a lot of the people that we already know. So let's see. So now, Gene.
Yeah.
I don't know because you might have not heard my beginning. So shall I just say it again for everybody that's come in?
Yeah, you can. So, because I've got people coming in on my chat in my page.
So basically, when I think of technology, I was saying that I thought of, when I had a car roll-up window, or, the old washing machines, how everything is like a push button now, right? So, and then when I think of digital, I think of that being as traceable. So I just wondered if you could give a little bit of explanation to that, because Gene's actually got a degree in technology. And
I mean, the first thing when you said cashless versus, taking credit card, my first thought is they want to track somebody. They want to track what you're doing. They want to know what purchases you are making. To me, when I pay for cash, I'm anonymous. You don't know who I am. You can't track me. And so I look at it as maybe people want to go cashless because they know when you come in. For example, I know in Virginia right now, 2 parks, Kings Dominion and Busch Gardens, are all cashless. They want you to bring your credit card in. The minute I go into the park and check in, I get an email probably a day or 2 days later asking me how my visit was. So to me, when I use a credit card, they know what I make a purchase, when I'm making a purchase. And for me, it's almost like they're keeping track of what I do. I really haven't asked them why they decided to go cashless. Is it a case of they don't want to have to count their till at the end of the day? Do they not? Do they have younger adults that don't know how to deal with cash? Because I know when I was working as a cashier, I had all kinds of scams taken up, people that tried to take advantage of me, overpaying, not paying enough. They try to trick me. Is it a case of they want to stop that and just go with a card to make it easier? I don't know. That's the things that when I see that everybody's cashless, that's what comes up in my opinion.
Yeah. So for me, that's the difference for me, is that it's digital. So it's like it's going to leave a trail.
Yeah, it's going to leave a trail
wherever you're going. So and I just wanted to play. I hope it works. I have a really cool video that I was able to get that gave me an interest. Now I'm hoping this is going to work. Let's see. I'll just premise it first. When I saw this clip that went on the interwebs, I thought, oh, I've got to do a video on this. So let's have a little listen. It's only a few minutes. Or not even a minute. It's only a few seconds.
Okay. Yeah.
So let's see if that will work. And okay. So now I'm going to play that, and I hope you guys can hear it. Let me know in the chat if you can't hear it. Okay. So I'm going to add it to the stream.
Money here on the help desk. So you people take that money, £1.90, and I will take my strawberries outside.
You can't
If
take
you want to
that.
call the police,
You can't take that. Police is on their way. You can't take that. Police is on their way. You can't take that.
I pay by legal tender.
No, don't.
Okay. So I don't know if you guys caught what he said. Could you hear it?
Yeah, I could hear it a little bit. It kind of breaking up, but I heard a little bit of it.
Okay, so shall I just play it again because it's absolutely precious. Just a second.
I paid by.
So he's saying, I paid my legal tender. I'm getting my strawberries and I've paid my legal tender. Okay. And
With my strawberries.
and he says, I'm going out with my strawberries. So he's like, and it's hilarious. So
Yeah.
you should check it out. I will leave. There is where it's from.
And I'm offering exactly the right amount of money here on the help desk. So you people take that money, £1.90, and I will take.
Yeah.
That was what we thought would happen. It's a bit breaky, but you can sort of hear what he's saying. Okay, so he's saying, take that money. And what you hear is him saying, call the police, right?
Yeah.
Call the police if you want to. So let me just explain. Before I was a parole officer in Canada, I was a probation officer. And one of my first cases was that of a it was my first, you could say, offender, and this person he was caught for, they said, stealing a can of tuna fish. And what had happened was he had bought his tuna fish for lunch, and the lineup, he was behind this one lady, and she was arguing with the cashier. And so he said to himself, that's it. I can't wait for this. I'm going to be late. So he left the exact amount of change on the counter, on the cash register. So when I saw the tape of this guy, I thought to myself, this is hilarious. This is exactly the first person that I got when I was a probation officer. So this guy got probation for it. And I said to him, don't you realize that if you don't get a receipt, then you can't prove that you've paid for your stuff. So you just cannot go in to a shop and leave the change on the till. So I thought that was interesting that, so when I saw that man in this video today, I thought, oh my gosh, that is hilarious. So I just wanted to ask Eugene if you have anything to add to that.
Yeah,
about
I mean,
leaving the money on the till.
Well, I mean, and I know that if everybody's looked at the dollar bill or a $20 bill, 50, 100, it says on there for public and private debt. So you can pay cash for public and private debt. Now, interesting enough, I found out tonight, I was looking out here, I did find on the Federal Reserve System, and I can read you this here. It's section 31 USC 5103, entitled legal tender status. It says right here, there's no federal statute mandating that a private business, a person, or an organization must accept currency or coins as payment for goods and services. Private businesses are free to develop their own policies on whether to accept cash unless there is a state law that says otherwise. So that's telling me that if there's no state law, Businesses can do what they want. They don't have to take cash. So my thing is, why are they not taking cash? What is their preference for doing that? Is it tracking? Is it because they don't want to deal with cash? They don't want to have money on hand? What is really going on? I still like to use cash. I know that there's gas stations around in my area that charge more for credit card than cash. So
Yeah.
are they going to stop taking cash? Are they going to go to credit? Another thing that I don't know if many people have seen this in recent restaurants, in my local area, they are charging more if you use a credit card. So they are passing that fee on to me if I want to pay with a credit card. Now I can still pay in cash, but let's say they deal away with that. Are they going to now force me to pay that extra charge to use a credit card? So I don't know. I've always been told once you lose a right, you can never get it back. So where do we have to start at? So I don't know. That's my thing is, and I know a lot of places are going this way. They're going to go that route. You know, if one person does it, the next person will follow, then other people will follow. Where do you draw the line, or where do you say enough is enough? My cash is still legal tender.
Yeah.
So that's my thing is, you know, or do the amusement park say, well, we did away with cash because we want to know what our customers are doing, what their purchase habits are, what again, it's tracking.
Yeah. So now Gail, hi Gail, from Southern Living. She said she didn't understand the video. Was he trying to steal or pay for something? So the old man was at a shop and he wanted to pay cash, but the shop did not take cash. So they refused to take cash. Now, I didn't know. That's why I was saying, is this going on in America? So we've got places that where you go shopping and they refuse to take the cash at all. And so that's what he was doing. He was literally just leaving the cash at the till because he just wanted to buy something, but they didn't accept cash.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And and my thing is, will the federal government or state government step in, or are they just going to say, let's step back for a moment, see what happens, and then make our own laws? When it, because I don't want to get down to the point where everything happens and then it's too late. Like, oh my gosh, why didn't I pay attention? Why did I wait so late to complain? Why did I wait? Because now my rights are gone. So is anybody in the state level saying, wait a second, we need to put an end to this because it's going to happen. It's coming. I mean, I feel like, to me, my personal opinion, I think it's coming. We're going to lose that right to pay cash, and we're going to be tracked. At least in my opinion. Like I said, that's just my opinion, but it's something that's coming down the road. I see, like I said, 2 amusement parks here in Virginia have already gone cashless. So I can't take cash in. I have to take my credit card.
Yeah. Now, so in England, there was it was, what do you call it? Can you guys see the screen? Has it shared?
Yeah, I can see it coming on mine.
Okay, so you can see Parliament.
Oh, Parliament. No, I can't see that. No.
Can you guys? Oh, okay. So let me try to go back, and I do present, share. I think I'm going to get it this time, guys. Okay. Yay. I think I've got it. There. Can you see it now? Let's give it a second.
Yes, I see Parliament now.
You can see Parliament now. Can everybody else see it? Okay. So Parliament in England, as you can see the date up there, it was on the 20th of March, and there was a petition, and not very many people signed it, but once it gets to, if it would have got to 100, then they look at it more seriously. But what it said was the response, and we can see this here, the response that was that the government does not plan to mandate cash acceptance.
Mhm.
Businesses are able to choose from the forms of payments
Mhm.
they accept. The government's proposals for legislation to support cash acceptance. So now let me see if I can get out of here. So Jean, that's kind of like what you were just saying.
Yeah.
What has happened in America? It's really it's up to the people. Oh, listen, look at that.
Yes. Yeah.
Just doing that's Australia is now cashless society. Some
And some
banks have
banks have
stopped
stopped.
cashless.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
This might be a good time to try and play. I'm hoping I can do this. Okay. So now I want to put in I want to show you. I don't know if anybody's ever seen a parliament debate. So
Mhm.
I have found this parliament. This is the actual debate that took place. Can you guys see it on the screen?
I haven't seen it yet. I saw Parliament
Not
before,
yet.
but
Okay. So it's there. Present. Share screen. Share. Okay. And did that show it?
no, I don't see anything yet.
Says, wait. Okay, I remember there was something that said you have to. Oh God, this is a nightmare. Okay, it said. Remember, it said. So you got the petitions. I don't know how to do that. That might be a little too difficult. So what I'm going to tell you is, yeah. Oh wait, I think. No, I'm sorry, folks. It is a bit of a nightmare trying to do this. Should be just easy. It should just share. And I don't understand why it's not. So let's just go back to StreamYard, which I've lost completely now. And the sad thing is you guys can't see me clicking. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Got it. Got it. There. Is it coming?
Okay.
Now?
Yep. I see it now. Yep.
Oh, yay. Okay. So what this is I thought it might be fun for you guys to see.
And that's Parliament. So yeah, I'd like to see
how
it.
it looks, because it's, that's Parliament in London. Yeah. So when they,
Yeah.
so if I play, what happens is we had this all set up, but now this guy is hilarious. Well,
and indeed, I would emphasise that not only is it essential for many
not the
people,
guy I was talking about, but just a second. This one. Okay.
The elderly would find the new coins difficult. The elderly don't live forever.
Can you hear it?
Postponed until they're all dead.
Yep.
I think the more serious point we shared across the House is that people should not be excluded from being able to buy or pay for things just because they haven't got a card or they haven't got an account. There are many people who rely on the use of cash, and those businesses that don't need their custom ought to be told you should have it. Exclude people just because they aren't up to date, or a 14-year-old with a debit card.
Yeah, the Father of the House makes a very valid point, and one that I will echo a number of times during my speech. Stilling, creator of the more recent petition, told me we must protect the individual's right to use cash in all physical transactions. While there are many obvious advantages to digital payments, it is not suitable at all times for all people. There are dangerous political implications with going cashless, as instances of banks and financial service providers.
So can you guys understand their language? Like, it's like, because that's a Scottish person. Is that really hard to understand?
Might be a little bit. I'm not. It might be a little bit breaking up.
Okay, because what I thought I'd do, because if it's, I'll just take it out, and what I'll do is I'll explain what was happening. So all the members of parliament get to say
Yeah.
something about it. And what they were saying is the biggest concern for them was that a lot of banks have been closing. Okay, so
Mhm.
what they did was there's the banks agreed to do fair access to cash. Okay, and this is to help the communities to be independently assessed, because so many
Mhm.
banks have closing. Okay, so what has happened is like I know in my area my local bank closed, and so what they're saying is that the shops cannot, so if they get cash, it takes
Yeah.
where are they going to deposit it, right?
Well,
So
exactly.
if
Yeah.
you were saying that, was it Disney you were saying? Who did you say had they had
The two local amusement parks here in Virginia. That's King's Dominion and Busch Gardens.
right?
And that Busch Gardens is, I mean, King's Dominion is owned by, I believe, don't quote me on this, Cedar Point.
Yeah.
Busch Gardens is owned by another
Oh,
company
I
out
love
of
Busch
Florida.
Gardens. That was my favorite. I
Yeah.
used to go to Busch Gardens almost every year.
Oh, I did too. Trust me, I had a season pass there, but
Or
yeah.
the free beer at the end, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little hard to hear. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, it wasn't hilarious, but what I liked about what I wanted to share with you, the Parliament, I'll leave it in the link below. But what was really cool is that they talk about their experiences when they were young. Okay. And how one of them said, well, if we have a completely cashless society, how are we going to teach children about money?
Yeah.
How are they going to have a piggy bank, for example?
Mhm.
And so I thought that was really interesting that
Yeah.
now I was going to say that nowadays there's these cards that you can give children to go to school for their lunches.
Yeah. Oh no,
Okay.
absolutely. I
And
mean,
yeah, go on.
yeah, no, I was saying my son just started working at Arby's as a cashier, and even then, and now they're not cashless. So even then, because I told him, you got to be careful. There are going to be people that try to scam you, that want to try to do tricks on you, and sure enough, he's already seen it. So, is that is a business going to get rid of cash to prevent that? Because I've seen it all when I was a cashier. I know people try to take advantage of you by paying cash. They would try to confuse you. They'd wait, they'd make sure your drawer was open. They would reach over, throw something on the floor. If you would, be crazy enough to bend down and pick it up, they'd reach over and grab your money out of your till. I mean, I've seen it all. So is that my question would be, is that what they're trying to prevent, or is it something else? So, I don't know.
I mean, they've set up this cash action group, it's called, in the UK. And they're a group that is going to protect access to cash. So what they were saying, and I've got it up on the financial ombudsman had something to say. And now I don't know, again, I probably won't be able to share with you the screen. So the financial ombudsman, they said that there's approximately 5 million adults in the UK that use cash every single day. And I don't know about you, but our interest rates have gone sky high. And for example, my mortgage has literally doubled. Our electricity has completely doubled. Okay.
Yeah.
So I've put myself on a budget. So the other day I was going shopping at Walmart, but it's called Asda here. Okay. And
Yeah.
I just wanted a can opener. Okay.
Mhm.
That's all I wanted was a can opener. And I thought, if I bring cash, I know I'll buy what I need. If I
Mhm.
just bring my card, well, I don't even look at prices. So I first picked out this fancy schmancy can opener that you have to plug in and everything.
Yeah.
And then I looked at the price and I thought, what are you doing? You brought like 10 pounds with you, you
Yeah.
know? So that made me think twice. And so I picked up one of the old fashioned ones where you have to turn it like this,
Right. Yeah. No, I've got one of those.
you know? And so, I just thought, well, now, had I have brought my card with me, I am pretty
Mhm.
darn sure I would have bought the fancy schmancy one.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the concerns is
Yeah.
that
And here I see Lexi. How would racetrack go cashless? That's interesting. Because I used to go to the horse track. I
oh
bet
yeah.
I paid cash. I made bets on the horse track. Absolutely. So I mean, I guess they would. What would they give you a credit on your back on your credit card? How would that would be interesting. That's something to look into. But I know
Yeah.
here
It's
in the
like,
United States right now, I saw a Toyota commercial last night for financing at 3.99%. I only saw one auto dealer offering 0% financing, and that's it. But right now the rates are real high.
yeah, I don't know if anybody's ever tried to do this. Have you ever tried to take a lot of cash out of the bank?
Oh, I'm sure oh yeah. It will come up on their radar. They'll ask you what you're doing. I
Yeah,
think I
it's
can't just walk into my bank and withdraw $10,000. They'll say probably warning bells will go off or something like that. They'll ask me what I'm doing for sure.
now
I mean,
I
that's
don't know
yes,
what,
I can try it. I can try it, but
now okay, so I went to take out some cash and it was quite a bit.
Mhm.
And I couldn't believe the bank was going to charge me to deposit it into another account. So instead of like they said, if you want to
Oh,
take it, I just wanted to transfer.
yeah,
Okay. So
that's yeah.
I remember what it was. It was probably to buy my property. And
Mhm.
so I said, because I had to transfer it from one account to another.
Mhm.
And they said, oh, it's going to cost you X amount. And I said, forget it. I'll come and pick it up.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. And I've worked for banks before, and yeah, they're going to ask you a million questions. I know at some branches they only carry a certain amount of cash. So if you walked in and said, you know what, I want $50,000 cash, they're not going to be able to do it. They won't probably. They're going to
Yeah.
give you a cashier's check, and then that that check has to say days probably to be cleared.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's true. It's like, and then you've got like as a business, every
mhm.
time somebody pays me, I have to pay a
Yeah.
percentage if it's over, I don't know if it's like over £100 or something, and then I have
Mhm.
to pay. So, but they give you deals. Like I know even in Canada, I have a Canadian account, so my mom can put,
Mhm.
Christmas gifts and stuff like that. And they charge me $5 every time I use my card. Okay. But that's because I have over a certain amount in the bank.
Mhm.
But if I didn't have that amount in the bank, you get charged that plus
Yeah.
an interest rate for taking the money out. And I thought, it's my money.
Yeah. And I don't know. I don't know if like you walk in and say, yeah, give me $20,000 in cash. Well, banks, they take your money, they're going to immediately invest it and give it out. That's how they make money. They're going to loan it out to somebody else, and then they're going to charge them a fee. So I don't know if it's a case of, well, we really don't have that money to give out or what. I don't know.
I don't
you
know.
know.
But it did. It took about, I don't know, 3 days to get my money, and I couldn't believe
Yeah.
it. Now, Jean, did you put that link in? If
I think
Christian,
I
do
did.
you
It's up
come
there.
up
Yeah.
on panel and give us a chat, or the person from Australia? I assume you know them. So I deposited 5K cashier's check in the bank and have been a customer for over 25 years, and they held 50% of it for 10 days. Unfortunately, that wasn't the issue because it didn't need all of it. Yeah. Do you know what? That is another thing. Businesses have to be really careful, okay? Because what a big scam that's going on is that people will give you a check as a business,
Mhm.
okay? Or they'll transfer the money into your account. Now, then they'll say, sorry, I don't want to do something. Well, it's very hard to get the bank to transfer it back to them. Okay.
Mhm.
So, because the bank won't give you their
Yeah.
account number at all. So you don't have their account number. You can ask the person for their account number. Now there's where the scam is. How do you know? It's because you don't know where
Yeah.
the money came from. It just says it came from, because they don't give you
Yeah.
that information. It's confidential. Okay.
Mhm.
So that is a real huge problem. So then if you want to return the money, you can't return it because the banks will, like, let's say somebody pays me £1,000. Then 2 days later, they say, sorry, I don't want to do this. I want my money back.
Mhm.
So this is why I have a no refund policy, because I cannot get that money back to them, because legally I'm responsible for that money up to, it could be a year. So let's see. I think everybody's going crazy in the chat.
Yeah.
Uh,
No,
okay.
like I said, banks are out to make money.
Yeah.
So you give them your money. I can guarantee you probably cannot walk in there and say, you know what, I got 100,000 in my bank. I want it out right now. They're going to say no. And it's too high. They don't have the funds on hand, even though they're supposed to cover everything. But, I don't know the banking system that well. But I just want to know if
No,
anybody else anybody else in the
it's-
chat has any other places that have gone cashless. I want to know. I know in Virginia here, like I said,
Well,
only
we've
2
got
places I know.
somebody in Australia,
Yeah.
and I don't know if he's left, but they said they're completely cashless.
Mhm.
And what did Lexi have to say? Yeah, that is the way it is in Arkansas. Anything over 10,000, it gets reported to the RIS. And yeah, and
Yeah.
I did a video on all the banks speak to each other. Okay. So
Yep.
if let's say my parents decide Mom, if you're listening, want to put 100,000 in my account, England's going to know about it. It's going to be so many red flags. I think anything. Now, what were they saying? Anything over 10,000. I'm
Over
sure it's
10,000.
anything
Yeah.
over 5,000 in this country. And the darn shame is when you go to the till, you can to the cash ATM.
Yeah.
I can only get what, 300, 500 pounds at the most on a day.
Mhm.
It's just
Well, my thing is, what I don't like is, they tell you to save money. They want you to save money, have a little cushion for rainy days. So I save my money. Now I've already been paid. Taxes have been taken out on that money. I put it in the bank. It makes interest. I have to pay taxes on that. To me, it's like double taxation. You could be wrong, but to me, it's like, wait a minute, I'm saving that money. You've already taxed me on it. I'm making money. Of course, then you make money. That's a way for them to get money. So I get it. But
yeah. Hi, Canada. I'm from Canada. You've got an admirer from Canada.
yeah.
So okay, so it's illegal if you just leave the change on a counter. Okay, that will be illegal because both of our countries and Canada, I can speak for Canada as well, you have to have a receipt. That is the only way you can prove a payment of something.
Yeah.
I mean, the other day I was at a shop and it sucked in my money.
Mhm.
And thank God I had somebody with me.
Yeah.
And it said, sorry, like let's say if it was 20 pounds that I
Mhm.
put in and I only owed 9 something of, right? And it
Mhm.
said, oh, sorry, you haven't put any money in. And I went, I just put 20 pounds in. So
Yeah.
thankfully somebody was watching me and we were able to get the attendant, but that was pretty scary
Mhm.
because I got, well, I suppose not scary, but it's like,
Mhm.
so do you want to put it in the chat again?
Oh, let me see if I get it back up here.
And I'll read through some of these because we've got lots of people coming in. Regulation D was enacted, which legalized and enabled the banks to sweep your deposits into a sub-accounts that are in the bank's name, and they use it as collateral for loans. I'm not surprised because I did another video on, when you donate to charities and you come to a till and it says, would you like to donate to a charity? Well, you're giving it to that shop. They're adding it all up.
Mhm.
And they're getting a huge tax relief for it. Think about it, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I can't drop that link. I don't know it's giving my email address. I don't want to do that. I can't.
you did it before.
Yeah, but I think that was my my email. I think because I just
Oh,
pasted
well,
it.
I might be able to do it now because I sent you the link, but I don't know how people do it then because there must be a way.
And that's a good thing. I want to ask from Canada, Maiden's World. Do they? Is it? Now I heard when the truck driver strike was on, did they actually control their bank accounts? I mean, has Canada gone
what I
as
heard.
far as grabbing your bank account and control what you can and can't do? Is that real? Is that legit?
That's what they did.
Grabbing. Yeah, I just wanted. I mean, I'm just wondering. Is that real? Is that legit?
Sorry,
That's what they did. Grabbing. Yeah, I just wanted. I mean, I'm just wondering. Is that?
Sorry, did that all come up?
Yeah, I heard something background noise.
It's like I'm trying to get it. Okay. So now I'm trying to get it. For God's sakes. Okay. So I've put it in the chat because if Christian wants to come up or the guy from Australia to talk about, I think he was Australia. There it is there. That's the way it is. Okay. You've got to fill out the forms. Yes. Lexi, that's interesting. You've got, yeah. I'm not catching up with these. So, yeah, so I've put it in the chat. I'm making sure I'm not.
Yeah, just make sure they come up on camera first and see who they are.
Yeah. Yeah, you can come up.
Just have to show your face.
Yeah, as long as you show your face, you can put so you're not seen, but I have to be able to see that you're a real person. What is this? It was from, oh, okay. So did we miss what she'd said? Katie's Kitchen. I'm sorry, I got behind because I was trying to put that in the chat. Oh, okay. So that, yeah. So she had gotten some money from her mom, and she deposited the money, and the cashier in the bank, that she'd known for over 25 years, they held it for that time, and that's. I don't know if you guys ever watched. There's a program on about people who are scammers. They take advantage and try these online people that say they want to go out with you and they're in love with you and all of this. And that's one of the ways they scam you. They say, oh, can you just lend me a bit of money? And then they pay it back. and then they'll say, "Oh, can you lend me a bit of money again?" And then they say,
Yep.
"I'll pay you back." And then the next time they do it, they say, "Oh, look, I just got this check for 10,000, but I can't cash it at my bank. Can you cash it? I'll give you 1,000 for doing it." And now you trust them, right? But you
Yep.
don't realize your bank's going to hold that money for a long time, and you could be liable for it if it bounces. If you know, so I guess nobody wants to come up on. Okay, let's see if we can read through these chats. There are two types of people that steal from you in the government banks. Oh, Jean, you said you had some jokes for us.
Oh no, I don't at the moment.
Oh,
I didn't
But
have one
so-
at the moment. Yeah, I had some for my shark's tooth the other night, but that was, and I'm gonna, I tell you what, I'm gonna redo that one because now that I've got my first live out of the way, I think I'm better now.
it takes a lot to get used to.
I tell you, it's something different. I mean, I know I've been on panel with a lot of people, and when you go live and you're the only one there, it's like, am I being heard? Can they hear me? What's
You
going
can't
on?
tell. You can't
You
tell.
can't
Like,
tell,
I can't tell.
Oh, I know, Katie's. I know. I was. Katie's Kitchen's like, no jokes. Oh, I know.
It's really hard. And
We're talking serious stuff tonight. No, I'm just kidding.
no, but it is serious though, because
I mean, it depends on how far. To me, it depends on how far do you let it go, because for me, it starts out small, and you lose one thing, then you lose another. And if you don't pay attention, you're going to get to the point where you've lost all your rights. And then, where do you go from there? I know, and I think somebody mentioned this earlier about going chipless. They have tested putting chips in your hand that will debit your credit card right there. Hold your hand up to the scanner. It will debit your credit card. They put the RFDI chip in there, and it will take it out of your bank account. They have tested that, and it's real. So do you want to be chipped? I mean, do you want for me, I think it's coming down that road. I've seen.
Well, what's that movie that there was a guy, he's a singer, and he wrote a movie, and it was all about you got time.
Mhm.
So you got paid in time. So
Mhm.
you could be running out of time. And when you run out of time, that's it. You have nothing. And
Yeah.
you can't do anything. You can't go buy anything. So what does this say? When you make a deposit in the bank, it means that legally you are loaning the bank. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
This is
I mean, if I go in and I put in $100,000 to a bank, they're going to immediately take that money and they're going to loan it out to somebody because they're going to make money off that. Now they give you a crappy interest rate on that money you gave them. That's how they make money. They're going to take that. You're giving them the right to take that money and do what they want to with it. That's why you see all these banks closing, because they make crappy loans, they make shady deals, and they take your money and they're throwing it out there, and then they're not held responsible. Those guys can go on, or girls can go on. They'll get fired, but they can go somewhere else. And that's what they do. That's how banks make money. They're I always heard the term banks love taking your money. They don't like giving it out. So they'll take that and immediately loan it to somebody else because they can make more money off of that than they're going to pay you in interest. At least that's the way I look at it as. And I think that might be right, but I can't be 100% sure on that. So banks are in the business to make money, not give it out.
But when you think about, there's I know for me, they're saying that it's, the average mileage to a bank is around 2.5 miles, so but you can't walk it, put it that way.
Yeah.
It would take a lot to walk it. So let's go through some of the chat here. That's why you make a lot of smaller deposits. Good idea.
Yeah.
But you can be found. They could check out why you're making so
Yeah.
many deposits as well.
They can do
So
that too.
that could have
And
a
you
red
know,
flag.
yeah.
If you come in
And
with a
it's
little
interesting.
$5 bills, they're going to start wondering, well, what are you doing at night?
I don't know. It's interesting because I have taken it, like I own stock in a bank. They pay
Okay.
me a dividend check. I used to go to the bank, roll up to the bank and say, I want to cash this. And they'll say, well, because you don't have an account with us, we're going to charge you a fee. And I'm like, but this is your bank. This is your check.
Yeah.
But they want to charge you a fee because I don't have an account with them. Doesn't cost them anything to do that. It's their check. But they want to charge you a fee for cashing a check that has their bank name written on it because I don't have an account with them. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they do. And now the other interesting thing they've done in England, which I thought
Mhm.
was why they should keep cash as well, is once your account goes into overdraft, any money that goes into it just gets eaten up. Okay.
Mhm.
So this is where, because I used to be an appeals officer for people on benefits. Okay. And what I found is once they're into that debt, right,
Mhm.
it keeps growing because the interest keeps getting worse. So any money that's put into their bank, so their
Mhm.
benefits would into the bank, but because they're in overdraft, it's just being taken.
Yeah.
So now I know in America they have food stamps and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, they do. Mhm.
And that I think is a good idea because at least you're guaranteed that
Yeah.
children can
And there's
eat.
certain things you can and can't buy with food stamps. You can't, I don't think you can go in, at least when I worked at a food store, I don't think at the time you could use food stamps to buy alcohol, cigarettes, or any other magazines or anything like that. You had to legitimately use it for bread, eggs, milk, and food. Not, you can't go in and say, well, let me get that 12-pack of beer and I'll pay in food stamps. I don't think they could do it at that time, but you know.
Okay, now we got a question. What are your thoughts on stacking precious metals? Is that what it's at?
Precious metals, yeah, like gold, silver, I think.
Okay, so I've thought about this. Sorry, I just did a weird mouth movement. I said I've got to stop making these funny faces on video. It's weird. I can't see anyone's comments anymore. Can you see them now?
I can see them coming up at the food stamp. Oh, like Katie's Kitchen said, you can't buy hot
can
food
see
either.
comments.
Yeah.
That's weird. Can you see them now? I don't know why.
I can see comments on my live, on my streaming down to my channel. I can see them.
Okay, so let's go back to precious metals. This is the way I think. Who are you going to sell them to? Who's going to buy it if you're really desperate, right? Because I assume you're doing it as a savings in case the banks crash and everything. So that's what I've never understood is who you're going to sell that to. So it's like a trade, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Yeah.
It's like the Bitcoin. I tried to do some research on that, and I just found that can be very dangerous, I think. So I hope she can read the comments. I'm trying to read them before we put up. Money used to buy back gold, it's not anymore. Therefore, money doesn't really exist because there's nothing backing it. It's like that would be a good question for a financial expert, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, there was a time when diamonds were worth more than gold, and then gold went higher. And I don't know what gold is selling for right now.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Is it
I
always
can't. I don't
around the
know.
400? But if I went to sell a lot of gold, who's going to buy it now? I don't know. I don't know very much about that.
Yeah.
I've always said property is your best investment, right?
Property or land, yeah.
You're always going to need that.
Or at least land to invest in land. I mean, unless somebody wants to pull the eminent domain. I've seen that happen with towns and cities try to do that. They can't, legitimately give, you to make you give up the property. So they'll seize it by saying eminent domain. Or we need to take this because it's in the interest of the city. We'll take your land. But I'm not an expert on that. So
I know. But again, when I was doing, when I would do civil litigation for the government, I would put liens on properties for to recover that. Like, so if a person's going into a nursing home or something, or respite, it would be respite care. We didn't want them to have to sell their house because they might only be there for a few weeks or a few months or whatever. So keep their property, but they might have to sign a lien on it, put a lien just in case something happens. Yeah. I'm reading your comments.
Yeah, somebody asked about it, and I did in Maiden's World of Wax did bring up a good thing about gold in the 70s. I think that was Nixon that changed the law.
Yeah,
on that.
I think I'm really behind on the chat.
Yeah.
I think I'm at 2:49, and what time it is? Oh my God, I'm 10 minutes behind. This is the problem. Maybe that's why, because I'm behind.
Yeah, and Maiden's World is saying, and that's what I thought. They did seize their bank accounts during the protest. I thought they did that, and they want to make them, they seize your bank account.
They did, didn't they?
Yeah, I think so. And they, that way they can't protest. You have to go to work. You have to pay bills, and
Yeah, they did. And I have, I know for a fact somebody in Canada who had an issue with the tax man, and they seized their accounts. And this person worked in America and had an accountant work out everything. So it was all done legitimately. And the tax people said they owed money, and that was it. They froze all her bank accounts. And she could not get any money out. Let me see. Can you read that one?
Yeah, did my annual vehicle inspection attendant ask for cash or $1 more? Yeah, because they're doing this. To me, that's the same thing as what they're doing in restaurants. They're now charging in restaurants here that I've gone to. If you pay by credit card, they'll charge you a $3 to $4 charge by using the card. They won't charge you that by using cash. So they're going to sneak it in.
They're putting that charge onto the person.
They're putting it on the consumer. Exactly.
I would think as long as they're letting you know before they've charged.
Oh, they do. They let you know.
Would be
but I mean, when's the last time I carried cash?
He's saying, was this request legal? And it's coming back to the shops not accepting cash. They should have signs up that say we don't accept cash.
Yeah.
But I suppose they can do what they want. I mean, I've gone into restaurants because it's a private business, right? For example, I've been into restaurants where they're saying, 15% will be charged.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen it. I saw it in Miami. They put a charge on my meal in Miami and labeled it something different. And I looked at it, and I should have questioned why, because I looked at it going, what is this charge? And so I paid an extra tip. Now that girl walked out with a huge tip, because what I didn't know is that they charged me the 15 or 20% tip already added in. They just labeled it something different. Now, I guess I could have gone back and argued it and say, wait a minute, what is this charge right here? I have no idea. but I didn't. That's on me. I should have done that. I should
And
have
when you
asked
go
them that.
into a restaurant, and this is to answer the guy from Texas, John, normally when you pick up, the menu, they'll say if you're going to be paying with credit card, or we will add on a tip.
Yeah.
They will say that on there. So where it's legal is that they can't force you to pay it.
No, they can't. No, I mean,
because but they would say if you ordered from the menu, you would have seen it. And so obviously it would be a civil liability. I don't think they could call the police and say, this person's refusing to pay the extra tip we just charged them.
Oh, yeah.
It would become a civil liability, I think, like from that point of view. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Because they're just making up the charges, aren't they?
Exactly. They're going to pass it on the consumer. And my thing
we're going to charge. And
and my thing is, when they stop taking cash, that still means they're going to pass that charge on to me. So now I have no choice. I have to pay that $3 to $4 extra charge because I'm using a credit card. I can't pay cash because now everybody wants to go cashless. So, yeah, I mean, that's where my thing is with if people stop taking cash, people are going to follow suit. They're going to fall in line because it's the same thing with the restaurants. I saw one do it about the extra charge for using a credit card. Now everybody's doing it. So they're going to fall in suit. So that's my thing is if they stop taking cash, we're going to be hit with that extra charge, but they can factor it in any other way. I think they can still add it into the price of the food. They can still do that. So that's just my take on it. I don't know. So,
well, it's interesting because in the UK, they tried to, say we should be go Euro, go European, and nobody wanted that. But now it's just like when we go shopping, they'll have a price in euros because obviously if they're shipping them around the world, they'll give price in euros, price in UK, price in America. Have you noticed that when you go to an airport, they'll have all the prices in your different
currencies?
Yeah,
no, absolutely. That's what I was going to ask you. Do they do this in the UK? Do they have a cash price for gas and a credit card price for gas? Or did they just do away with it and say, well, we just got one price? I know I've seen that. I've seen some gas stations here in Virginia that do give you a discount if you pay with cash, but
Oh, I've never seen that. I know that if you are taking in cash as a business, then you really have to report that cash. So if you do cash in hand kind of thing and you don't report it, there could be huge fines with, I know you guys call it the RIS, and we call it HMC,
Well, it also could come down to this. I'm not going to pay with credit card or cash. Let's barter. Let me give you some goods. You give me what I need. I'll pay you in goods. That way we're not exchanging funds. We're not paying cash. We're not paying credit card. I'm going to give you this, go back to the barter system. That's, I've seen some people do that.
Now, where is visiting? What is it? Visiting the adventures?
Yeah, Tony, I believe.
They check anything over 600 there. So I wonder where they're from.
I think he might be from Ohio. I think. I don't quote me on, but I think he's from Ohio.
And it says exactly that's why they're hired. Yeah, so I just know that if you've got a cash business, right, then they're going to be really watching you, right? And there's a way for them to tell how you've been spending money, right? So,
they know. I mean, if this little thing right here can sit there and listen to what I'm saying and put advertisements on that, it's listening. They're listening. I mean, I'll sit here and talk about some things. I'll pick up my phone, go out on Facebook, and I'll see an advertisement for what I was just talking about. It sits there and listens. So they and that's just, advertisement. They're going to listen. They're going to promote what they hear. And, so.
Yeah, I totally agree. Overdraft fees should be illegal. They should be, and they have made a huge reduction in them in England. So they definitely have done that. But so you don't get charged with the fees, they're not as high. But what is high is the interest. They've almost
Yeah.
So let's say before, if you went into overdraft, they might have charged you, let's say 12% or something, right? Un-
Mhm.
unapproved lending. So most
Yeah.
people will have a bank that says, oh, you can go into overdraft, by 2 or 3,000 within your limits. That they'll allow you to do that. And then you
Mhm.
just charge one fee.
Yeah.
They've lowered that fee, but then what they did was they doubled the interest fee.
Oh, absolutely.
If you don't pay that back within like
Yeah.
literally every single day, it's getting interest. So you've got
Mhm.
overdraft fees and you've got interest.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're gonna try everything they can. It's crazy, but it's almost like a friend of mine told me one time. This was when I was younger, had a credit card, and they said, "Hey, you want to raise your credit limit? Tell you what you do. You go ahead, you charge up your credit card, pay the minimum monthly balance, and they'll raise your credit limit because they want you to spend more money because they know now you're paying the basic limit. That means they can charge you more in interest. Now, it worked because I did that and they raised my credit limit. That was back in the day, so I'm sure they're still doing it now. So,
Oh, okay. We just got an answer from somebody, and they're saying there's a gas station near her that charges 10
mhm.
cents per liter if you pay with cash. 10 cents less.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Oh, okay. That's okay.
That's interesting. And where did Katie's Kitchen say she was from? We're all driving there. We're driving there to save 10p. I'm just going to catch up with the chat because I think it must be terrible for people to write something and I'm not seeing it in
Oh,
time.
Dallas, Texas. Okay.
Okay, now, ooh, this is a big one. What are they saying? Do you want to read that one in?
Yeah, it looks like a couple of states there: Wyoming, Indiana, Utah, Arizona, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Texas, West Virginia,
LA?
Tennessee, and South Carolina accept gold and silver as legal tender. Huh.
What?
I think MO, I think that's Missouri is pending, and the other states will have the bill on the table. Yeah, I mean that's interesting. Huh.
I haven't heard that one. What did he say?
Oh,
That is
I think that's bartering. Go back to the barter system.
Oh, okay. So legally you're allowed to barter, but anything over, I think in the UK it's £50. So I don't know what it is in the UK or in the USA. But then then it's like you have to say, well, you're getting a benefit, right? So if I give you, let's say, £300 worth of legal advice and you do something for me, like fix my computer or I don't know, do something. They have to, you still
Yeah,
have to report it in the UK because it's over £50.
yeah, and I don't know what that thing here. I think John is asking about.
Are you caught up? Oh,
Yeah, I'm leading the chat from here about the political views. I don't know if that can happen in America. I don't know. I mean, that's what's got me worried is, I see the craziness going on in Canada with seizing bank accounts. What could that happen here? I don't know. If
so
people don't pay attention, it might. But
the thing is, that's the other thing that I wanted to point out to you. The financial, and I can't show you on the screen, but I can read it. What they've done is they are doing a so you guys can't see that when I show it, right? So they're basically asking, and the banks have till the 25th of August in 2023 to provide such information as the number of customers that have terminated, the number of customers that have been suspended, the number of customers denied services, and the reason for the above. The number of complaints the banks have received, and what they're going to do is they said this will include asking if accounts have been closed because of expressions of political or other opinions. Yeah, we're asking about both personal and business customers, including pawnbrokers, charities, political parties, and we'll analyze the rest and provide initial assessments by mid-September. We're undertaking to do this work to better understand the scale of account closures and the reasons behind them. And then they're going to share the analysis with everybody. So the Financial Conduct Authority is very concerned as to why are the banks closing, why are they pushing us into a cashless society? So they want to know why. Dallas, Texas, that's where Katie's from.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. And I don't know, there's nobody giving me a definite answer. I mean, I can go to the amusement park. I can ask them. I don't know if they'll give me a serious answer or what. It's interesting. I don't know. They just said starting on this date, we will no longer accept cash as payment. We're going to cashless. They didn't give an explanation. They just said, this date we're going cashless.
Oh, so now really NatWest closed Nigel Farage. So he's a political leader in the UK, and John is saying because they didn't like his political views. So this could happen in America next. Well, I hadn't heard that, but I mean the banks, if you think about it, they are privately owned, aren't they?
They're not. I mean,
so
they have. I think they have some obligation to the public, but
this is the other thing. If you find out one bank owns a lot of other banks. Yeah. Okay. So when I got my mortgage, for example, I found out it was actually owned by a completely different bank.
Yeah. Oh, so, I've had a mortgage.
The same bank, which is disgusting that they can trade under different names. Like,
I've had a mortgage. As soon as I signed, they sold it to somebody else. And now I got notice saying, oh, this is not your company anymore. We sold that to somebody else. Now this is your new, same rate, but this is your new mortgage right here, new company. So they immediately sold it. So,
and this happened. A big thing in South Africa, where they were having problems with. So they would pay for the land, but then the bank would say, "No, you never. We sold your loan on to someone else." Yeah, and now the same thing. And they're saying, well, and that's a pretty good legal argument if you think about it, right? So the bank is selling your loan onto someone else without your consent. You didn't sign anything. To, Bank of America or whoever. And now they own your debt, which is what this guy was arguing in the South African courts. And I thought, well, that's a pretty good argument.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And like Katie's Kitchen said, they should be doing that. They should be regulating that harder, because that's how the banks failed out in California. They were selling loans to shady people. They were taking that money and doing crazy things with it, and they're not held accountable. They just walk out and they'll start another bank. They'll go somewhere else. And, the old golden parachute, I like to say. But they should be regulated tighter, because that's your money. That is your money you're putting in the bank, and some guy with a tie on a girl is taking that money and deciding what they want to do with it. That's your money.
Yeah.
So
And so
They should
just
be regulated,
doing
yeah.
our best said, Ernest
Mhm.
Hemingway said it best on how society collapses gradually and then suddenly. And
Mhm.
there's a lot of people that think we're going to go into another recession if we're not already
Yeah.
there. I want to get through some of these comments. You guys going cashless to end of the world. Yeah, I think it's going to
Yeah.
be very difficult because, like, if you think about it, if somebody is broke and their
Mhm.
accounts are overdraft and they can't get a hold of any money, it's
Yeah.
nice to be able to give them some cash. So I suppose
Mhm.
you're going to have to give them a card or something with some, to buy at a store.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what this person is doing, and pinky waving all this weird stuff. So I hope that's how Cyprus. Does that make
Yeah,
sense to you?
especially Venezuela. Yep.
And
I mean, that's for sure.
yeah. So I think I'm caught up on the chats. So yeah, I think as long as people know that it will be against the law.
Mhm.
And if you just leave, if the shop does not
Mhm.
accept the cash, they have a
Yeah.
perfect right to not accept it. Like I said, there's a lot of government agencies. Like if you go to pay a parking meter, you're going to
Mhm.
find that they want a card payment or they want
Oh,
you to
yeah,
telephone
absolutely.
with
I I can tell you that I have not seen any of those coin-operated, parking meters. They're all you have to use the app or you have to pay with a credit card. I was down in Georgia, the same thing. I had to go up with my credit card and pay it right there. I could not just put money in or quarters or anything like that. So, yeah, they're getting there. It's coming, so
and if you try to pay the courthouse, you won't be able to pay them with cash. They have to call you with a
yeah,
payment,
no.
which is good. Um, but
And yeah, and
well,
my thing is that if it's I always tell people it starts out small and then it builds. People not paying attention, and before you know it, it's going to be gone, and then you can't get it back. There's you can't go back. I saw
I think
overseas.
there's pros and cons.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I saw
So
overseas where McDonald's and other restaurants started doing when you walked in, they didn't have cashiers anymore. You walked in, you did your menu, you paid by credit card, and then your order was up. Well, they started doing that here. So
they
now I
do
see
that here as
McDonald's.
well. There's a
Yeah.
big board that you come into
Mhm.
and you put
Yep.
in
Yep. That's
everything
it.
you want, and then you just go up and pick up when your number is
Yeah.
called.
Exactly.
Now I'm
That's what they're doing
now
now.
I'm going to crave McDonald's.
I mean, I guess it's easier, but still, it's.
I mean, when I first came to this country, I'll tell you a funny story. So Canada had already had chip and pin. We were
Mhm.
able to pay with our cards, right?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so, and anyway, so we're at a petrol station. That's what they call a gas station here.
Mhm.
And my husband said to me, my ex-husband now, he said,
Mhm.
"Oh, go and get in the queue." Well, first of all, I didn't know what a queue was, right?
Yeah.
And it's a lineup because there's always lineups everywhere. In Canada, if there's one person waiting, they open another store, right? So it's like totally different attitude. So anyway, I go to the door to
Mhm.
walk in, and the door won't open. So I'm standing there and I'm stomping up and down, and the door is still not opening. So I go back and I said to him, "The door's not opening." And he
Yeah.
said to me, "It's because you have to push it." I said, "What? What do you mean push it?" I hadn't, because Canada had
Yeah.
gotten a lot further. Like I would have said Canada was 10 years ahead
Mhm.
of the technology, right?
Yeah.
So I said, "What do you mean you have to push the door?" And now everywhere in England has automatic doors. So I'm
Oh,
sure
yeah,
everyone
yeah.
can appreciate that now in England. But when
Mhm.
I first came here 27 years ago, they didn't have it. And I
Mhm.
thought that was hilarious. "What do you mean you have to push the door?" He says, "You
Mhm.
sit elderly woman. You have to push the
Yeah.
door.
Well, I've always seen things over, out in either China, not I guess maybe the Philippines, Singapore, things like that. That technology is ahead of at least here in America. I'll see that over there first before it comes over here. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it's crazy. And I think we still got this. We did answer that, right? I don't
Overdraft
understand
fees, yeah, I think so, but
pays and why do they charge it? Yeah, I think it's a highway robbery, to be honest. But the good thing is there's a lot of banks, there's a lot of different banks. You don't always have to stay with one bank. The problem
yeah,
is the banks are the same people.
yeah.
See this one. Sorry, we didn't get that. Might be easier for you to read them if you can see them on the screen better, because mine are little. A bad debt that should be paid can only stay on your record for 7 years before it falls off, or 5 years. But the collection companies buy and sell that and keep. Okay, so what you're talking about here is a contract. Okay, so when you've got a civil debt, it will work the same in America and in Canada the same way.
Yeah.
There's a statute of
Same.
limitation on that debt, and they should be counting it from the last time they had contact with you. Okay, so when they're saying so normally like 7 years is what we kind of all think of as a normal contract, right? That's why people used to say, don't throw out your bank statements or anything for 7 years.
Well, at least for 5. Yeah. I mean, I always heard that. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the reason is because in case you have to prove that you paid something, right? But the interesting thing is, it's actually a defense to say that you're statute barred. Okay. And the other person can be statute barred for several different reasons. Okay. So if they hadn't gotten a hold of you in the UK, and I'd have to check your laws, but in the UK, if there's a 3-year gap, right, for an invoice, let's say, then they can't come after you.
Yeah. I think.
And nowadays too, it takes a long time before they can kick you out of your property and stuff like that. But so she's saying, it's record for 7. Yeah, so they used to have what was called. Do you remember? It used to be called the blacklist, and now they've called it the debtors list. And you can check on people who have got bad credit scores and stuff like that. And I think that's what a lot of people are worried about. If we go completely cashless, are people going to get more of a credit card score, right? And
could be, it's just, because, I always kind of have the thought in the back of my head, if you pay by cash, you're not likely to spend as much money. If you're given a credit card and you've got a $20,000 limit, you're going to go spend that money quicker. Cash on hand, that's all you got. You can't go any further. All right, it's $20. Here's my $20. I have a credit card. Oh, wait a minute. I see this $20 item. There's another $40 item. There's another $60 item. You just go on, and you can get out of control. Cash makes it so, I got to pay this, and that's all I have. I don't have anything beyond that. That's better for me because I can't go into debt further. So to me, it's almost like a question of, do they want to see us go into debt further? And how much debt do you want to do? So, but that's what I used to think, when I used to pay with cash, is that's all I had at the time. I couldn't go beyond that. Credit card, no problem. And that's just if, I know I'm good. I'm good because I know I can pay it off at the end of the month. But there's some that don't, hey, I'll just pay it off whenever, or I'll just accrue the interest. and things like that. It can get out of control. But
I mean, the other thing I want to bring up,
Mhm.
and this is really kind of important for people, if you have a lot of credit cards, okay, and let's say each credit card is worth $10,000 or pounds or
Mhm.
rubles or whatever, if whatever it is, I can't remember what it's called in Australia.
Mhm.
But if let's say you have 10,000, and so you've got the capability of borrowing, let's say 100,000 off your credit cards,
Mhm.
that will count towards your debt. So even though
Mhm.
you're not in debt, so you might not have anything on them, but the banks will count it as a possible debt. So
Yeah.
if you're ever going to purchase a property or get your credit card score, it may be lower just because of that.
Mhm. Could
Okay.
be.
So always people, especially if you're going through divorce and you're going to get, sorry, I didn't put it back on. So I always say to people, if you're getting divorced and you
Mhm.
know you got a little bit of money, but get rid of all your credit cards because the banks will count that as a possible debt. So let's say if you were able to borrow
Mhm.
80,000, they might say no, you can only borrow 70,000.
Mhm.
And the other thing is, if you're paying into a pension, they'll count that as a debt as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I'm thinking of that.
kids, right? So there could be
Mhm.
lots of reasons for your credit card score or your credit score to be low.
Mhm.
And like you say, I've probably got a good credit score only because I pretty much do everything. I don't do anything with
Mhm.
cash,
Yeah.
right? It's only when my property mortgage doubled. And I thought,
Mhm.
wow, now I have to watch my money. So then I started using a bit of cash and I'd
Yeah.
forgotten what it was like to use cash. But because I use credit for everything, I was I'm always able to borrow a lot of money,
Mhm.
which boggles my mind when you think about it.
Yeah.
You know? The more money you borrow, the more money they allow
Yeah.
you to borrow, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
They want you to keep
So
going.
so a cashless society will just mean we're all going to be a lot more in debt if you think
Gonna be
about
in a
it.
lot more debt, and who knows what that debt's with? They gave out money with the stimulus program. That money's got to come from somewhere. I don't know what people can't. Okay, so the government wants to give me a check for $1,500. That's got to come from somewhere. That's either going to come from my taxes, or we're going to borrow that money from another country to do that and go in further into debt. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Okay, we've got a few more. The Fed coin ABC started. I don't know what that means. The Fed
yeah, I haven't
coin
heard of the Fed
C
coin yet. I know,
ABC.
actually, I did, but I haven't researched that yet.
I haven't either.
With the Fed
I
coin.
know there's do you know when you yeah, okay, so was it Texas that started this or somebody and they said they were going to give the town so much like they had their own town money? Did
Mhm.
you hear about that one?
No, I haven't heard about it. But Texas
Yeah, so
probably
they
be the first to try it. But
I can't remember where it was, but they said it would be their
yeah.
own town money. So and for example, I'm with NatWest and what they do is they have this
Mhm.
thing where like you get money back for all your utilities, right?
Mhm.
So, and it will go into a separate account. And with that money, you can buy other things. So that
Yeah.
money might be in cash worth maybe £40 a month. But at
Mhm.
the end of the day, at the end of the year, you know, that builds up to 400 or 500 pounds. And what they allow you to do is go to like a catalog shopping place or
Mhm.
another place to buy something, they'll give you more for your money. So if you think about it, if there's a cashless society, there could be a lot of benefits too, because they want
Yeah.
you to keep
I'm
paying. They want you to keep, as long as
Mhm.
everything is in circulation, You know, because
Oh no,
that's
I mean, yeah, it's no doubt about it. I mean, yeah, is it easier? Absolutely. We all have credit cards. We all carry that. Uh, so yeah, in some ways, yes, it is. It is very easy. Um, but sometimes, and that's going to be interesting. I don't think here in Virginia you can use a credit card or debit card to play the lottery. I think you still have to use cash.
oh, okay.
I think. Now I have seen kiosk machines that might take a debit card or a credit card. I'm not sure. Don't like I said, don't quote me on that. But I have been turned away when I bought a lottery ticket. I didn't have, I thought, oh, I'll just pay with my debit card, same as cash. But they said no, you have to have cash. So,
Um, Josh has a good idea. Do you
mhm.
have do you have a great carbon credit or a social credit? So that's a good one. Like if you
Oh,
think about
there's a credit score. I mean, they're out there. That's what they use to when you go buy loans. They check that.
yeah, but even
Um,
if you live in certain areas,
mhm.
you will get higher insurance for your car just
Oh,
because of the
absolutely. They do
area,
a credit check on you. Yeah,
well, just the area that you live in.
yeah,
So I'm trying to think of some of the benefits before we end because I don't want to
mhm.
leave on a
Yeah. I mean,
negative note. Right.
yeah.
So I mean, there could be lots of benefits. I think, um,
I mean, yeah. If I go to the amusement park, I always take my wallet. I have a wallet. I really don't put cash in it. Actually, if I'm not going to buy anything, I just leave it in the car. But usually I'll have it on me. So yeah, is it easier? Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I could see that, and
let me tell you a funny story. I I was in South Africa and brought. Well, I do this all the time. I a lot of times I forget my something, right?
Mhm.
And so I had brought one card with me, but I couldn't remember the PIN number. And I thought, oh my God, this is going to be an awful holiday because how am I
Mhm.
going to get money? Right. I had some cash. I thought, this is a nightmare. And I kept thinking, well, I haven't even written it down anywhere because I'm so secretive. I mean, I actually need a code breaker to break my own codes. so, so I just kept praying to the Lord and I kept saying, Lord, this is terrible. I can't have a horrible holiday. Anyway, you're not going to believe this is like an angel came down. So the guy
Mhm.
was leading us up to our hotel room and the number on the door was exactly, if I added one more digit, it was my PIN number.
Mhm.
And because it was one of those pins that you know how the bank gives you and you're supposed to change them or
Yeah.
something. And so I had changed it, but
Mhm.
I couldn't remember what I changed it to. And it was so hilarious. And I said, "Oh my God, I know the number." It's like because it was there. And so I do think, God works in mysterious ways.
Yeah.
And but I didn't know what I was going to do with no money. Uh, Lexi, it's easier to spend money you don't have. Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
I used to say they should remember in the olden days when you used your
Yeah.
credit card, you used to put it through one of those machines,
Those
right?
machines, yeah, the back and forth, and it would give you a carbon copy.
And and I used to say, oh well, maybe they should put my hand through that machine. Then I'd stop
Mhm.
spending,
Yeah.
because I'm definitely one of these people. I always say, no, I want to die in debt.
Yeah.
I don't want to pay anything off. So,
All right. I got a joke for you. I got a joke
okay,
for you. I'm gonna
finally.
get one of these in here.
Wait, I'll give you center stage. I'll give you center stage.
All right. Why didn't the shark fight the octopus?
I don't know.
Because he knew the octopus was well armed.
You were supposed to get a bunch of money jokes for me.
Oh, I know, when I had to throw that one in there.
When I just went to the shops tonight, I had
Okay.
this coin and I don't know where it's come from, but it definitely looks
Yeah.
like a foreign coin. And it
Mhm.
almost looks like, now, does anybody know if the Vatican has their own money? Because I swear
I
I need to
believe so.
bring it up with a magnifying glass, but I'm sure it said Vatican, or maybe it said Venetian. I
No,
don't
I
know.
think I think you might be right on that. I think they do have their own currency, or at least maybe. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I did hear rumors about that.
Yeah. So anyway, I do have a
Mhm.
mic. Well, I suppose we could use our phones. You see the digital world? It's wonderful. We can just use our phones and then blow it up. I do that for everything nowadays. I don't know if anybody else in the chat's doing that, but I
Yeah.
can't see anything. So I take a photo of it. Instead of holding it out like this to read, I take a photo
Mhm.
and then I blow it up on my phone. Everything is just getting harder to read. And
Mhm.
I mean, when you're working on court cases and everything comes through electronically,
Oh wow.
what is the cases? The Brian Kohlberger case, it has mega gigabytes and
Mhm.
gazillion bytes, and I don't even understand that. I actually did a video on cleaning up your phone because a lot of people think they need a new phone,
Oh
but
no.
but there's so much digital. Like, for
Mhm.
example, if I share something with you and something with somebody else, obviously that's going to come down, and there's going to be, like, you could have it on your phone 5 or 6 times.
Mhm.
So, digital stuff, like, it clones it. That's what I wanted you to speak
Well, yeah,
about, the difference with digital.
you know what I found
It's
with
like we
my
just did
fentanyl.
sorry, we
Uh-huh.
just did it tonight. Remember when the
Mhm.
internet didn't work, and we found out I
Yeah.
had been on StreamYard a different one,
Mhm.
like, twice. So tell
Yeah.
me about how the problems of digital, because I could see a problem where you could end up paying your bank twice. You could pay
Mhm.
if you don't watch things. I think it could be a disaster. Oh, I
Well,
won't.
yeah, you gotta pay attention to that. So yeah, it's like when you mentioned the phone filling up, I have an iPhone and I didn't know my setting when I took pictures, it was taking a live picture. Now, in addition to taking the picture, it also takes a movie. So I took one picture, and because the setting was on live, it took a 2-second movie. Well, that filled up my phone until I figured out that when I downloaded it, I'm like, why do I have these duplicate files? Then, hey, the live setting is actually, you do take a live photo, but it takes a movie of it as well. That filled up my phone. So,
Yeah, and so this
yeah.
is why I think cash shouldn't be, completely out of our society,
Yeah.
because I mean, every time I've checked my account, I have found something wrong with it, right?
Mhm.
And um and so, okay, let's listen to Katie. This is a really good comment. She says, "You know what I do with looking for text messages?"
Long with the long text messages to read on my screen. I use text to speech and read along. Okay. Huh.
Oh, wow. So is that an app you download?
I think you can do it on your phone. Let me check. I think you can do the text to talk, or
That is cool. I do it the other
I've
way
seen
around. So
people
when
do that. Yeah.
I do it the other way around. So when
Mhm.
I dictate. So as soon as I get a file, okay,
Yeah.
I will dictate. So I'll pick up the big file, like,
Mhm.
and what I do is I literally pick up each page and dictate into it,
Mhm.
right? So page 1, this is the date, this is everything. So I love technology. I love a digital world, right? I
Mhm.
don't know if I like it for banking and stuff like that, because I just think
Yeah.
the rich will get richer, the poor will get poorer.
Mhm.
Is like you said, there's going to be, everybody's going to have, what do you call
Yeah.
so you were looking for a joke, were you?
Hmm. I was perusing through some things here, but yeah, that's all right. I'll have some ready for next time.
Did you find one? We need a joke. We need a good joke to end
Let me see
on.
if I can come off. Well, I had that one's on Thursday. I think I put it one out Thursday. Huh. I'll have to, yeah, I have to tax my brain on that one. I've got so many of them. I gotta write them down, but
It says, I do proofreading for my mom occasionally. She doesn't see well
Mhm.
and writes, can you read that? It doesn't see well
I do
and writes
proofreading. Yeah, she doesn't see well
on
and
her
writes.
phone. Oh, she writes.
Okay.
No, I've learned the same. I'm a book writer
Um,
on my phone, and
yeah.
I think I've got to stop that. And that's because I'm dictating it. So I
Mhm.
dictate my messages, so they end up being really long. She needs
Mhm.
someone to proofread. Yeah. Oh, that's really sweet. It says blockchain CBD will be recorded. Oh, everything is
Oh
recorded.
yeah, everything's.
I,
I
I
mean,
I mean, when I first came to England, and I was really surprised that there was a camera everywhere. But I mean, you get used to it, and
yeah.
it's
Oh, it's
nothing.
happening here. You got cameras everywhere.
Yeah. Okay, so
Yeah.
now I know we got off a little bit of a topic, but I think it's all relevant, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because so what we're saying is the digital world is a trackable world, right? Because
Yeah.
it's like could you explain it? Like, you know how TV, because TVs in England just changed from
Mhm.
pixels to something else. I can't remember what it was. But so if we think of digital, can you give us a good way
I
to
mean, if you want to look at it this way, there's two ways. I guess the way I'd look at it is, yeah, they want to go to credit cards and do that because they want to find out, and I guess in a good way, companies want to know what your spending habits are, so that way they can give you advertisements. They can tailor their products towards you. It's almost like when I shop on Amazon and I buy something, and then Amazon will come back and say, hey, you liked this, you might like this other product. So yeah, for me, there's a benefit of that. They can't track you with cash on that. They don't know what you're buying. So in a way, yeah, they can predict or at least they can try to predict what you're going to buy. But in the same time, in the wrong hands, you're being tracked and somebody's going to take advantage of that. At least that's the way I kind of look at it. Also, in the wrong hands, somebody can take advantage of that. But it's either way. I mean, I see the benefits of cashless versus, okay, I want to go buy this product. I really want to remain anonymous. Give me that opportunity to pay by cash.
it's weird. Some of the chat has stopped and some of it has kept going. Um, but the way I look at it is it should not be mandatory not to pay cash.
Yeah.
So I do think that's fine that businesses, but where I don't think it's fine is if you're in a rural area and the only shop doesn't take cash and you're an elderly person and you might not remember your PIN number. There could be a lot of reasons why, so
Yeah.
I think we've had a good chat about this, though.
Yeah, no, it's great.
I don't know if I'm any clearer, but I think
No,
I
it's
have
great.
come to the conclusion.
Yeah. I think it's a
that
great
I
topic.
do
I think it's a great topic.
Yeah, I do think if you're a public shop, right? So if you're a shop where anybody can come in from the public, so even though it's private, it's still public, right?
Yeah.
I think they should take cash.
Yeah.
If you're like you got to book into the hairdresser or somebody like that,
Yeah.
then I can see them saying, "Look, I don't take cash," or somebody like, that's a different story because I don't know though. Now I'm thinking, well, what if they're the
Yeah.
only
I mean, yeah. And it could go that way too. Like I said, like I said, with the younger, at least I feel with the younger crowd, or maybe not, you have to, when I ran a cash register, I had to balance out at the end of the night. I had to make sure I wasn't over under. and had to even out. So unless they say, well, we don't want to do that, and it's easier for us to go cashless, then okay, I can see that. But at least tell me why, or maybe give me an opportunity to maybe pay cash in some areas. I don't know. It's weird. It's real weird. It's interesting because they didn't say why. They just said we are going cashless as of this date. So
Wow.
yeah.
I have had a few divorces where it's been really difficult because let's say one of the people in the business has a cash business, right? Just
Mhm.
because of the nature, they're a hairdresser or something. And then when they were getting divorced, the other person says, oh, that person makes this amount,
Mhm.
and then they go to court and say, no, I've only put in this amount to the tax man. The court has to go
Mhm.
to what the tax man say. But I have
Mhm.
had it where the court will say, wait a minute, how did you guys buy all this stuff if you didn't make that kind of money?
Yeah.
So I do think, wait, here's a good comment. Thanks, Lexi, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's that.
Tables, I always preferred cash tip because I could, yeah.
Exactly. You don't have to. Yeah. You don't have to report it on taxes. Just like the person you see around here, standing at the stoplight with a sign that says, "I need money" or "I'm hungry, please donate." They don't have to report that on taxes. And they've had some schemes where people have stood out there not destitute or poor or anything, because people will give money and they don't have to report that on taxes, and they can come out with $300, $400 a day, go get in their Cadillac and take off. They don't have to report that, nothing. They're not broke. They just know that people will give money. And now you see signs that says, instead of giving to the person standing here, maybe take that money and give it to a charitable organization, because that might go, in fact, that probably will go further than what somebody on the street corner standing there, because they may not be poor. They might be, but they may be say, hey, this is a great place to stand. I can collect $400 a day, tax free, don't have to report it. There we go.
Yeah. And I think I've always thought, no, digital or cards are better.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
and because of cards, I probably have a better lifestyle, right? Because
Mhm.
I spend over
Yeah. I
the over
mean,
what I make. And
yeah.
so
I mean,
and worry about
or buying
taxes.
food or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So I do think it's given me a better lifestyle.
Mhm.
And I love impulse shopping, right?
Yeah.
Um, if I just go with all the cash I have, I wouldn't spend
Mhm.
any
Yeah.
money. I'd be just like, no, I want to save it and make it grow, So
Yeah.
that was one of the things in the parliament when we saw the
Mhm.
parliament chat, but we couldn't really because it was all broken up. I'm sorry, chat.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to work. But
Mhm.
when one of the parliament guys had said, I just loved watching my money grow when I was little, and that's so true, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, it
like
is true.
I have a niece that just got a job, and she says, I can't wait to save all my money. Like, so excited for her. She's so adorable. It's like, yeah, I prefer. Yeah, I was of two minds, but I'm definitely
Mhm. Yeah, I
thinking
think
that.
either way's got some good topics on both those subjects, but it's been good, yeah, for sure.
And what does this one say?
Oh, that buying something easy access, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't go online. I don't like shopping online,
Mhm.
right? Um, but then I will shop online. Yeah, I do. I
Yeah,
do shop online.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, Amazon's
because
easy.
I
I
get
like
all
to get
this Amazon credit stuff. Like
that. Yeah.
I just
Well,
went out and
yeah,
bought,
and
talking about.
yeah.
I just went out and bought a whole bunch of stuff.
Oh, I know. I got credit for buying something the other day. I got a
Yeah,
$2 credit. So
I
yeah,
wish I could show
they
you,
they
but
want to
it's
reel
somewhere
you in.
else. I got this amazing foot massager from
Uh-huh.
Amazon because I have Amazon everything, right? So they
Mhm.
gave me credit. So this 65-pound foot massager, right? ended up being something like 17 pounds at the end of the day.
Mhm.
So there's the benefit of credit card everything. They
Mhm.
will give you, it gives you the incentive to buy more, doesn't it?
Mhm.
And what does
Yeah,
he say? Her
I just
husband, wait a minute, we've got a husband. We never listen to husbands. My husband's always said, if you can't pay cash,
yeah. Hey, my dad always carried cash. He always kept a stack of cash everywhere, thinking that you got to hit the, got to, if the thing hits the fan, you got to have cash at a moment's notice. So yeah,
and I probably had a husband that was the opposite. Here's the card. Goodbye. Go away.
yeah.
Don't bother me anymore. It's like, okay, thanks. See you later. It's like,
And I was going to say that Katie right there with that, you give a 9-year-old to blow money. Yeah, when I
wait a minute.
used to,
Got that one. Sorry. Got the
yeah,
wrong one.
I did the same when I was young with the video games. When you had the quarters, I would go cut somebody's grass for $5, then go spend that money real quick. So yeah, you can go through that real quick.
Well, and I did some shopping today, and I thought,
Mhm.
oh, I'm gonna bring cash because remember I'm on a
Yeah.
budget. I have to keep reminding myself. And I was picking out everything. Ooh, those
Yeah.
strawberries, nice. 10. Oh, what was it? $5.99 for a thing of strawberries or something. And what else did I want that I said no? Oh, ribs. I don't know how much ribs are in your country, but
Ooh, I catch them on
crazy,
special.
crazy money. It was
Yeah,
like,
I caught some ribs on special at Costco one time. You gotta for meats, I gotta watch around for specials because it's very expensive.
oh, 10. What is this? Amazon will pay you
Really?
10
For 10 receipts?
receipts of what? They just want old receipts so that
Ah,
I don't
wow,
get that.
that's interesting. Yeah, I always did. Oh, wow, okay.
Do you know what I did? Because I wanted to
Mm.
legally see if it was there was any value to it.
Mhm.
There's this Amazon surprise. It's probably not Amazon doing it, but people
Uh-huh.
they say an Amazon surprise box. My mom did one in Canada, and she
Oh,
got a
those.
really
Okay, yeah, I've heard of that. Okay.
yeah she got a really good deal. So I thought, okay,
Really?
and I got a pair of wireless iPhone ear
Mhm.
whatever things. And so you can get, so the thing is, and it's just like if I go online to shop once a year, I buy all
Mhm.
my vitamins and everything, right? And you get so many rewards for them,
Oh,
right?
wow. Okay.
So you get rewards for everything.
Mhm.
And so then you might get something free or, and
Yeah.
that's the way I think if we go digital, think about it this way, would there be
Mhm.
any poverty as long as you've got the right people in government, right?
Yeah, that's a big thing. I mean, that's the big
She's
thing.
never had a credit card. That's good. Do not get a credit card a store
Oh,
card
wow.
because they're the worst in interest. That's the only thing that scares me is that if everything is digital, they
Mhm.
could hold you to ransom for anything, couldn't they?
Mhm.
Oh, I missed this one. Uh, here's a joke.
Digital.
Okay, you get to write the joke. You get to read it.
What do you
Made up.
call
You
digital
read it.
currency? Funny money. Yeah, for sure.
Ooh.
Digital currency, yeah. Well, for sure.
That is funny, Josh. Thanks for that. Well, I don't know. Did everybody get some value out of this? We've still a few people
I
hanging
think I
on.
did. Yeah, I
It's
think
like,
so. I think I did. It was a good topic, and thanks for having me up. It's been really good. I think
yeah,
most of
it's
the
really hard to do it on your
comments
own.
I'm seeing, yeah, I think a lot of
Yeah,
comments I saw was it was a good subject for, yeah, that's for sure.
well, that's good because I found it hard to keep up with the chat, and
Mhm.
so um, but I think the problem we had tonight was logging on, because I was logged on.
Yeah, that was, yeah. And I kind of figured when you started, I'm like, I'm sitting here backstage. No, wait a minute. I was up on panel and I thought, wait a minute, maybe you had to send me the new link. I think that's what it was. Yeah. Cause I was sitting there going, okay, I'm here. It's all right. Hey, it's okay. It's all right. We're going to work this stuff out.
He doesn't get an allowance because he doesn't help. Hey, that's a good point.
Yeah. I mean,
you have to give kids, I mean, yeah, there's nothing better than change in your pocket or finding
yeah,
you still get excited. I mean, the other day I was cleaning up somewhere and I found some change and I got all excited. I don't know why, but and did you know too, if you find cash on the ground, you have to send it into the police station. It is against the law to keep it.
Is it?
Yes.
So, oh wow, because I found plenty of money on the ground.
Yeah, I don't know if it is in your country, but
I don't think it is.
Yeah, we could look that up.
Really, that's interesting because I found $20 one time coming out of a park, and I found another 20 going around the corner.
I found 20. I found 1,000 once, and
1,000. Wow.
Yeah, 1,000. And so I contacted the police, and I kept something from the wallet back so that the person could identify it.
Yeah, how would you identify it?
Yeah, we did find out whose it was, and that person.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, they took about 3 months to get back to me, and so I ended up depositing the money because I thought I don't want this cash on me.
Well, yeah, somebody's going to miss that. That's a lot of money. I mean, I would hope that, I guess somebody would know that it's missing. I mean, but yeah, how would, I guess, yeah, I mean, yeah, I could turn it in. That's a lot of money. Somebody's going to miss that. So
you would think. So anyway, I gave it, you know, the police didn't want it, first of all. And they said, look, until somebody comes up, you know, and we ended up finding out who it was. But long story short, he gave me £100 for doing that. And I was about,
that's cool. That's good.
Yeah, at the time, and £20 was like, cool. And let's see.
I mean, I guess I found cell phones. I've turned those in. I found one out walking. It was, I think, an iPhone 14.
You found one out the other day.
Yeah, I found one at the mall, so I turned that in security. I mean, I'm not going to take it. What I mean, you know, somebody's going to come back for that. I know somebody's coming back for that.
Finders keepers, yeah. It's not.
I wouldn't keep it anyways. I mean,
in America, we'll have to look that up.
Yeah,
but definitely in the UK, if you find money on the ground, you should be handing it.
That's interesting. Wow, I didn't know that.
But I found 20 as well. And but the other day I had, this is a funny story. So I had, you know how, that was the other thing they want to do to make sure people can get cash back without having to buy something from a store. Okay. So that's the other thing they want to make sure people can do, so you don't have to buy something to get cash back. So I took some cash back one day, but I forgot it in the bottom. And I thought, oh man, I forgot that. Anyway, and I'm talking to my mom, and she said, oh, your sister just found $20 and somebody left it. I said, that's mine.
That's yours. Yeah, exactly.
I'm in a different country. So I think what goes around comes around, doesn't it? We all, what is this? Sorry.
This is if
it's a crime.
If I found it.
It is a criminal offense, isn't it? To keep money.
Yeah, that I don't know. I'd have to look it up too.
Is it a criminal offense if I found it in my wife's purse? Of course it is. That's called stealing. But maybe it's what's mine is hers and what's hers is mine.
It could be. Yeah. Well, yeah.
The interesting thing The interesting thing in England is that people are separate. So you may have a joint
Oh,
bank
really?
account, but one person is going to be responsible for it.
Oh, wow, it's
So
50-50 here.
yeah, it's not always, So
Well,
you have to
true,
be,
yeah, I guess, yeah.
yeah. So no, Josh, I think if you found it in your wife's purse. Okay, well, I think we can end. I
Okay,
think we've
yeah.
been chatting for a long time. What, almost 2
Hey, this
hours?
is good. I like the topic. Thank you. Yeah, it's a great topic.
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
Sorry, we've got a few more comments. I have.
Yeah, I refuse to have a joint account. Oh, and Katie, I'll
Don't
say,
have a joint account.
I'll say that real quick. I would keep, this is just me. I always like to have two bank accounts. One case one bank goes under, still have it in the other one. So I don't like to put everything in one spot. So that's what I would have, two accounts, only just to have that as a safeguard in case one bank folds and the other one, I'll still have money over there. But
Yeah, and
that's the
I
only
would
way
always,
I have two
I
accounts.
say that to business people. Don't have
Mhm.
your business account and your private account at the same bank. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
Because
absolutely.
if you get into trouble, like I did a big case in
Mhm.
London, it was a high court case,
Mhm.
and basically HMRC was trying to make my client bankrupt.
Mhm.
And the problem is if you've only got one account and something
Yeah.
goes wrong and you owe money, then they're going to try to get that money out of the account. So
Okay.
does that make sense? Like, so
Yeah, it
you're
does,
saying
yeah.
it for a different reason, but I'm saying it for,
Yeah.
and meanwhile that could be a joint account with a wife, or it could be something else.
Mhm.
So, and I've done videos on that as well. Be careful with
Yeah.
joint accounts,
Yep.
because you could end up owing that money,
Exactly.
right? And I have multiple accounts, but only one in my name. Oh, is this like offshore stuff?
The Cayman Islands. No, I'm just kidding.
We didn't hear that. Thank you. Very informative. Well, I hope it was informative, Lexi. I know we went on and on
That was
and
pretty
on.
good, yeah.
Fun. It's such a deep subject, and I think it's really good. I really don't think that our society will allow it to go completely digital, but or cashless. But we did have a guy on that said his country was. So
It's just, yeah, it's
don't
one of
know.
those where it's like, I feel like on the tip of the iceberg that you just got to pay attention. You got to keep your eyes open. You got to see what's coming down, because you may get caught at the point where you can't get it back and it's gone too far. And, just make sure you keep abreast of what's going on. It's always, information is good. So,
this is the thing that do you know what? We brought up just about every point one of the ministers brought up. So if you guys do look at it on the link, it's like an hour and 41 minutes, but they bring up a lot of the stuff that we've talked about. So I think that's quite interesting that we're on the same wavelength as
yeah.
Now, good morning, sir, ma'am, in the Philippines.
Yeah, it's morning in the Philippines.
Oh, listen, I know something in Philippines. Ina bikita. That's what I know. It means I love you. So yeah, I was up with the Duty Ron crowd last night. Crazy hours. And so yeah, we should probably get going.
Okay.
You've got people saying that.
Yeah, they're coming into my chat. Hello, everybody.
That's great. Hello. I don't know if I could leave you on.
Please check out Karen too. Check out her pages too, y'all. Check her out.
And don't forget that you did a live. So
yeah,
really interesting with the shark's teeth.
Yeah, I think I might do a follow-up to that one.
Yeah.
This time I'll be able to take my time and, I'll be able to do things. So yeah, but thank you. I
Take
plan
the
to do
time.
something like
And
that
this
again.
is what I kind of want
Mhm.
the live chats to be about.
Yeah.
It's more about, let's take a topic, look at it legally, kind of
Okay.
do a surround
Mhm.
view of it. And, I did have another case where they did keep a lot of cash at the house.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, when things go wrong,
Mhm.
that cash could go missing. So
Yeah.
you've got to always be careful, because you can have someone clean out your bank account or your cash or your
Mhm.
underneath your drawer, underneath your bed. I don't know where people put their money anymore. If I had
Yeah.
any extra money, I'd put it under my bed, I guess. Good morning and happy Sunday. Good morning.
Yeah.
Did you hear me say in a Bikita? And what else
Yep.
is it? Kamostika. Kamostika. Isn't that Filipino?
I
Kamostika?
think so. Yeah, I'd have to translate, but yeah.
Kamostika Maboti.
Mhm.
Good morning.
Yeah, and the shark. Yeah, I yeah, I still have them sitting right here, so all my teeth in there. So
Oh.
yeah,
I didn't. What I found really
Mhm.
interesting is that one shark's tooth. So it's a
Mhm.
tooth, but it has other tooth underneath it.
Yeah,
So
it's it was the one.
it's like how we would go to the dentist if we
Mhm.
had
Oh yeah, that
smooth
is.
out our
Let me look.
teeth.
Yeah,
It's like
it's
you had,
yeah, it was the I got it written right here. It says it was a either lemon or a cow shark, and what you saw are those like 4 or 5 different teeth on that gum line, and they say those are very rare. So that's a whole gum line. I think I have one. Maybe if you could see it. No, yeah, maybe if you could see that right there. See the one right
here,
here.
I'll put you
You see
on your
that?
screen,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, you see that
Oh yes, there it
right
is. Look at
this
this,
one you have
people.
one, if
Oh
you
my
count them,
God,
there's
look at
one. Yep. There's one,
There's
2,
what,
3,
5?
4,
Go
5.
down a
Yeah.
little bit. Go down.
Yeah, and
So
that's
there's
what
like
I
all these
found.
jagged edges in
Yeah.
one tooth.
Yeah, and they're still
In
sharp. I
one tooth.
think a young lady asked if you can still cut stuff. Absolutely. I can cut my hand on these teeth. They're still sharp. And
Wow.
they're thousands of years old, and they're still. I picked them up, and they're still like. Let me see. I got one here that you can actually see it. Yeah, like right here, you can see how sharp that is right there. I don't think you can see the serrated edges,
Wow.
but that will.
Yeah.
If I can cut my finger with it, and that's still
Wow.
a couple thousand. Well, I don't know how thousands of years old, but it's still those. They'll still cut you. So
Now, what time is it there for you in
it
Virginia?
is 11:15 p.m.
Okay. Well, it's 4:14.
Yeah, I know.
I've had another all-nighter.
Oh no. But it's been good.
I had one with Melanie Little.
Oh
She's
yeah,
an
that's right. I remember.
attorney that Duty Ron has on a lot. So she started her own channel and she has just soared through the atmosphere. So I thought, oh, I'll give her a bit of support and I'll just watch like 10 minutes. I got to go to bed. It's 10 minutes. Well, 2.5 hours later, I was still listening to their chat. So it's nice when we can all get together and just chat and have a chat and share our information with the world, isn't it? Because we've got
absolutely
Philippines in here, we had Australia in here, we had America, Canada. I mean, we should have. Oh, I had a banner that said, "Tell us where you're from." So yeah, excellent chat. Really good people, and thank you, Jean. Thank you.
Yeah,
so much.
Thank you. Absolutely.
It was very nice, and I hope that, yeah, we can do it again, because we're
Yep.
thinking of doing something like on a regular basis,
Yeah, that's what we want to do. Yeah.
because it's the idea of taking information. And when you share information, like some people say, oh, what do I care what happens in England? What do I care
Well,
what happens in America? Well, you learn from each other. And
exactly.
I remember a story. I'll tell you another story. When I worked for the county solicitor's office, I was in a lineup getting food for a queue, sorry, getting food for lunch. Okay. And there was this, I didn't know who I was talking to in the front of me. Okay. Because, a lot of times you're talking to people on the phone and you don't really get to meet a lot of people you work with. It's a big organization. So I was saying to this guy, oh, I can't believe we have to write checks. Like I'm a, what do you call it? A check writer. Like I have what's it called? A deposit. You're an account holder. I'm an account holder. So I had
I got you. Okay, I was thinking something else. Yeah.
checks. So there had to be two people signing checks, so I could sign checks. But most of the cases I would put in court in those days, it was like between 25 and let's say 65 pounds, around that neighborhood. That would be the normal. Maybe some are a little bit more. But anyway, so I could only write. Exchequer could only give us checks for like 25 pounds. So I would have to get an extra check for that, to make it up to 65. I'd have to have 225 checks and another 15 check. Does that make sense?
Oh.
Yeah. So I'd have to have 3 checks to pay a 65-pound court fee. So I thought, this is crazy. So I'm in this queue and I'm telling this guy, and I said, oh, it's terrible. I think this is such a waste of money and time. And he said, leave it with me. 2 hours later, he says, look, I got you approved for 125 pounds.
Oh, wow. That's good.
And the county solicitor said to me, how did you do that? How did you trying to get Exchequer to give us, extend our checking ability or whatever. And I said, I don't know. Well, turns out the guy I was talking to in the lineup was the director of that particular department.
Oh,
so
interesting.
You never know who you're talking to.
Oh, you never know. Yeah, you're right.
You never know how you can change the world with just something that you might have heard Jean say it, you might have heard me say it, you might have heard one of the chat say it. Just one thing that might change.
Yep.
That's worldwide, isn't it? It's worldwide. Because we now are more aware that older people, they're going to have a hard time remembering passwords for the chip in. There's so many reasons. There's debt. There's there's the benefits of maybe getting, like we said, Amazon gives some benefits if you pay by your card. And then if you go pay cash, she was saying they got a cheaper petrol, So now I didn't know any of that. So I've learned some stuff too. Excellent.
Hey, I have too. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
And I've showed you. Okay. Good night. It's hard to say goodbye. You hang up first.
Oh, okay. I'll go ahead and drop out. Thank y'all. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. And thank you for watching. Please leave any comments because I know there's going to be a replay viewers. And if you have any comments, please leave them in the chat. We'd love to hear your views. I'm Karen Cole from Legal Minded Friends, and thank you for watching. Goodbye. I have a banner. Thank you. Please subscribe, and we'll see you soon. Get rid of these.